All right. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody. We apologize for the couple minutes delay here. Had a little technical issue on my end. We all work in tech, so every once in a while, technology's just misbehaves, right? That's just kind of how it goes. Well, today we have a really awesome session going on. We're going to talk about Dreamforce with some veterans of Dreamforce who've been there many, many times. I think when I did the math between the four of us, we've attended Dreamforce over 50 times, which is pretty wild since it's only been around for 25 years, right? But yeah, it's a quite the experience for sure. So what I want to do is really just start off with some introductions. And I'll start since I'm already talking and I'm the host here. Hi, everybody. Eric Dreschfield. I am teamed up with Cloudily to help bring you these conversations. And today we're just excited to be talking about Dreamforce and how to help people who are either new to the event or maybe scared of the event or have perhaps attended before and not gotten what they expected. We're trying to help you all figure out how to make the most of your Dreamforce experience. And with me today, we have three individuals, all Salesforce MVP Hall of Famers, if my memory is correct. And they've all been to Dreamforce at least a half a dozen times or more, just like me. So let's go through the room, shall we say, and just do some introductions. Why don't we start with you, Elizabeth?
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Davidson, and I'm a 15-year Salesforce devotee, and I've been to Dreamforce for most of those years. A couple of times I had to skip because of COVID. We all skipped that one, and then people not wanting to send you because of COVID. But I know a lot. I've seen it grow from the tiny back in 2010 when it was, I think, around 20 to 25,000. Um, Attendees to the huge, over 100,000. I never actually heard of real numbers there. But I love that area. I know it's like the back of my hand, and happy to help anybody with any questions they have. Feel free to look me up offline.
Awesome. Thanks, Elizabeth. Martin, how about yourself? Give us a little intro and tell us who you are.
Hey, I'm Martin Humpolec. I'm Salesforce architect, freelancing at the moment. I'm based in Prague, Czech Republic. And my first Dreamforce was most likely 2017. I
All
skipped
right.
after COVID. So yeah, I'm probably the youngest one.
Nice. Shauna Hughes, how about you tell us a little bit about you, how many Dreamforces, where you're from, all the good stuff.
Hey y'all, Shauna Hughes. I am based in Minnesota. How many Dreamforces? Let's see. I think my first Dreamforce was 2014 or 2015. I didn't really nail that one down. I can't remember. But I have actually been every year since then. I was one of the few that actually went in 2020 when they had a small contingent of us go. So yeah, I've been around in the ecosystem though for about 20 years. Since 2004 is when I actually started utilizing the Salesforce platform. So yeah, fun times.
All right. I think my first Dreamforce was 2011, if I remember
Nice.
correctly. Way back in the day, it was pretty small by today's standards.
Mhm.
I skipped the COVID year where there was a small, what, 1,000 or so attendees, and it all just happened in one little place outside, if I remember seeing things correctly on video. I
Mhm.
did not make it that year. I had too much going on. It was a little crazy time for me at that point. So let's see. Let's dive right into your favorite Dreamforce story or experience. Who wants to share something interesting they did or learned, or a person maybe they met during Dreamforce that was really exciting? Elizabeth, got anything coming to mind?
Oh, too many things come into mind.
Yep.
Just getting to meet all these people that I, had met online through the the older Dreamforce sites, and just the community, and getting to put, faces with names like in 3D, not just on pictures, and getting to know a lot of these people who I felt I already knew. They were very much the same in real life as they were, back home, or not back home. I count back home as being back home on the internet. I'm weird. Okay, I live on the internet here, so I forget to say where I'm at because I'm like, oh, we're on the internet. We're all here. Um, but I right now I'm in Greensboro, North Carolina, and it was I got to go to San Francisco for the second time for my first Dreamforce conference, and it was amazing. And the very first conference, the Dreamforce I went to, I basically saw a lot of my friends that I had made on the app basically be pulled up to the front of the stage for the what they call the community conference in, and become MVPs. And I was just like, I knew these people were smart and I like them, but whoa! I mean, talk about getting your gold stamp approval of people to ask your questions to, and after that, I was like, well, how do how do I help? How do I keep participating? And it went from there. That's one of my favorite memories. Is just literally like everybody around me standing up and going on stage. There was like two of us sitting there left, kind of going, "Oh, we know people, don't we?" That's right. That's one of my favorites. And then the Steve, and then just I could talk for years on how many awesome memories. But there's
Yeah.
one.
Nice. Martin, do you have something unique to share about a Dreamforce experience?
I do have something surprising, I would say. I'm not sure it was the first one or the second one, but I've been the Trailblazer Forest. And suddenly I realized I'm next to Benioff. All the security details has been around us. And it was so surprising because here when you see the security, they will just push people away.
Yeah.
And then they're just flooded through the crowds and didn't make a fuss about it. That was pretty astonishing
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
Donna, how about you?
Well, I would say, every Dreamforce for me is magical because I get to see all of you and see all of the community members and engage. But I would have to say my most memorable one would be Dreamforce 2019. That was when Pep Up Tech was featured in the keynote. We were able to bring like 75 different, students from around the world to really participate in the event and to show them, what it's like to really be involved in, the tech economy and the tech ecosystem. And when I say it was just, so magical and so heartwarming, and it wasn't even about me, it was about me seeing their faces and seeing how they engaged. Yeah, I can't say enough about it.
That's awesome. I remember that year well. I
Yeah.
spent a lot of time with you and the Pep Up Tech folks.
Yeah.
My most memorable experience at Dreamforce actually had very little to do with the technology or the conference, but it happened at the event. It was the first year Metallica was playing as the concert, and when it was in the basement of Moscone, my boss and I snuck in through the fire exits to get into the concert venue, and there were a ton of people going in that way as well. But they shut it off. They discovered what was going on, and security shut it down. Just a couple of people after my boss and I snuck in. Probably shouldn't have said that out loud. Might get me in trouble. But it was part of Dreamforce. It was a blast. It was really a great experience for me to have a little one-on-one time with my boss too. I was pretty new to that company at the time, so pretty fun stuff. So let me think. Dreamforce, it's obviously a massive experience, lots of numbers of people. In the big years, I feel like they were quoting 100 to 120,000 attendees just in that Dreamforce campus. And for a lot of people, that can be overwhelming. I mean, I remember my first year or two when it was relatively small. I still felt like I was the guy standing back in the corner just watching the crowds go by and scared to interact with people a little bit because I was kind of overwhelmed. What kind of tips can you offer to people that maybe haven't been there yet or that experience that same type of feeling as to how do you get past it? What do you do? What are some of the things you can do to make yourself a little bit more involved and perhaps gain a new friend or some new knowledge because you're actively participating more in Dreamforce? Shauna, let's start with you this time on that question.
Yeah, I have to say, like being in this community, most people don't know it, but I was a lot more introverted when I first started out. It draws, like kind of like those extroverted tendencies out of you, I would have to say. But you have to be brave enough and willing to step outside of your comfort zone. If you're going to a conference like Dreamforce, it's imperative that you step outside of that introverted comfort zone, because if you don't, you're not going to have the experience that you want to have. like standing off to yourself, being standoffish, not speaking to people, like it's not the experience that you really want to have, and that we want you to have. We want you to engage with us, to engage with the community. So from my standpoint, it's stepping outside of your comfort zone, being brave enough to do that. Introduce yourself to people. I know that it seems so daunting to do that, but the people in this community, we are all so welcoming. And when we see a new person or we experience someone who's new in the ecosystem, we're excited. We're excited for you. We're excited to be there for you and to help you along. So don't be afraid. The people in this ecosystem are not I was, like mean or stuck up or whatever you want to call it. Very welcoming, very engaging. I can say that for some of us old timers and MVPs and all these accolades that we've received, we can get distracted and be very busy. And like if we're walking, from Moscone to another thing, like we can be walking really fast or whatever. But don't take that as, don't take that as a sign that we're not going to engage you. It's just that we have 5 minutes to get to the next thing that they've roped us into.
Yep.
Well, not rope. We always volunteer. But...
Voluntold is what I'm done. I'm voluntold.
Yes, that's a good way to put it sometimes.
Yes.
Martin, how about you? Any advice to keep it from being overwhelming?
It's super hard for me because I still mark myself as an introvert. And what works typically on conferences, and Dreamforce is certainly not that conference, is being a speaker, because then people will come to me and it's way easier for me. So yeah, I'm not that guy who can say hi on the escalator. So that's why I'm volunteering. I'm trying to speak at etc. So people will come to me and then we have a chat.
Okay.
I don't have any tips. I'm just too scared. So if you see me, just stop by, please, and say hi, because I won't do it.
That's interesting, though, that you say you're an introvert, but you actually are speaking at the conference, because that's actually a little bit more frightening for most introverts than actually just saying hi to someone.
True.
It's a huge gap, because the first chairs are usually empty, so there is like 5 meters distance from the people.
So it's more about proximity for you.
Nice. All right, Elizabeth, anything you want to add to this?
Basically, these are old Dreamforce passes of mine. But basically, you see somebody with the matching lanyard, especially around the Moscone Center, talk to them. They're, most likely they're in the same boat as you, and just ask them where they're from. Especially if you're traveling out there by yourself, hey, do you want to grab some coffee, or do you want to grab a drink? Do you want to grab a lunch and sit down in the quad on Howard and enjoy the outside for a few minutes? I also identify as an introvert, but I can be very extroverted at sometimes. And usually when I'm on at Dreamforce, I'm like, yeah, let's all play. And then I go run away really quickly and like hide and go to sleep and take care of myself. Basically, my thing is, don't be afraid to talk to people. And it could be people you've seen in the community, or, even the person sitting next to you. If you're having a hard time doing it, at least try and push yourself to introduce yourself and just say, hi, I'm so-and-so. I work for this company. What you're comfortable with sharing, or I'm from North Carolina and I'm real excited to be here. Why are you attending this particular session? Why are you, what have you seen? What are you looking forward to most? And that way you also kind of hear about what other things are going on. You hear what, maybe you'll find someone who's got a problem similar to yours. I spend half my time at Dreamforce, I spend talking to people and then finding out, a problem they have, and then working with them to either, we may not get your problem solved during that, Dreamforce, because it's crazy busy, but we could always end up following up afterwards and catching up and saying, hey, I found somebody, I know somebody who can help you with this, or we can, this is how, a couple of approaches, or just to keep that going, because it's the relationships that you have and the people that you meet at Dreamforce is what makes it worthwhile. I mean, you go to sessions, you learn a lot, but going there and meeting people and making those connections and making those introductions, and learning about people who work for the companies that you admire, or people
Mhm.
who you're thinking about going and purchasing services for, or there's all these opportunities to actually meet somebody instead of having some, just be a web page or such. But
Yeah,
take care of yourself, set your limits, and respect them. And but as Shauna said, push yourself a little bit. Try to make at least one person, try to meet at least one person a day, if not one person per session you go to.
that's good. That's good advice. And the one thing that I think that you touched upon somewhat briefly that I think is really important is the fact that it's okay to decompress a little. It's okay to skip a
Oh yeah.
session and find a quiet spot to sit down and chill for a
Hmm.
little while. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Everybody needs the downtime once in a while, the quiet time, just to kind of reset and move forward from there. So that's really good. So let's look a little bit ahead now to what are we expecting from Dreamforce? What are you looking forward to the most? What are you the most excited about, perhaps? I think we all kind of have a feeling we know a little bit about what the keynote's probably going to talk about, Agent Force, um,
Oh,
or something similar to that. Who
What's
knows?
That's
that?
actually
But
surprising
what
because
are
you'll
some
be
of the
like
things
stuck
that
here in a row.
AI.
Like usually there's a topic for a year, and the agent
right?
force is
It,
second, third year.
Yeah. So what is it? What are you all looking forward to the most? Martin, let's start with you this time. What excites you about
Um,
Dreamforce this year?
I'm always excited about the sponsors because
Okay.
I really like to find out about all those applications we can extend the solution with. And I think I typically don't have time for that. So I'm searching for the application the customer needs to solve some problem. But here in the campus, I can just walk around, and in few seconds get a feeling, and then I can recommend something to the customer. It's way easier for me.
Mhm.
Nice. Yeah, I typically tell people to make sure they find some time to go through the exhibit hall
Yeah.
and at least walk by sponsors and see their demos, because
Yep.
the way I view that is you may run into a solution for a problem that you didn't even know you had until you see the solution. So it can be
Exactly.
very eye-opening and very exciting to discover something new like that. Now, Elizabeth, I know Dreamforce is going to be a little different for you this year because you're not actually going to be there in person. So
Oh,
what are you looking forward to? How are you going to experience your Dreamforce this year?
Um, I'm still going,
yeah.
but I'm just going to go virtual this year. Be able to, that's you take advantage of the Salesforce Plus platform of the streaming, the sessions that they stream out. They do, at least the keynotes, and I think there's going to be a few other sessions and some other things that they put on, like the Salesforce newscast that they do from the floor. I always even if I'm not able to be there in person, I always like to participate that way so I can stay on top of what's going on. Get all hear all the jokes and see what part crazy outfit Parker's been put in for the year. And the one thing I will miss is the blessing, because the blessing they don't advertise, they don't
Hmm.
stream the blessing, so somebody needs to FaceTime me into that. But and but right now it's all going to be virtual. I have a couple people lined up that we can meet in person, possibly, since we all go everywhere. We're more than likely watch it from our own perspective, homes or offices, and meet together and talk to each other via Slack or another avenue, and just have a good virtual time that way. And then hope somebody sends us maybe some stickers.
Sounds good. Shauna, how about you?
I, like for me, there's two things. Again, I always look forward to seeing everyone that I haven't seen, throughout the year. Usually this is a time where we call it our family reunion, where we get together, we're able to see each other, hug each other, and talk about, what's been going on throughout the year if we haven't had a chance to connect. But also, from a technology perspective, I am interested to see specifically what we're doing with, like agentic, AI in different spaces. And I know that, like Salesforce is all about Agent Force, but as you stated, going through, like the campground and viewing all of the, partner applications is actually really exciting. I know like it's a nerdy thing to say is exciting. But it really is. You get to see a lot of the innovation that's happening, and you get to engage with, like the people who are actually building and innovating, to extend the platform. So, like Dreamforce, the main sessions are all about the Salesforce platform and all about what they're doing, but the partners are actually extending that platform, and it creates this whole other world for you to dive into. So I'm
Yep.
excited to learn more there as well.
Yeah, and there's an added benefit to to seeing all the demos and learning about all the other partner products and things like that, and connecting with people. I mean, the way my own personal career has gone, I've seen demos of products and fell in love with the product and went to work
Exactly.
for that company a year or two later simply by seeing the demo of that product, and
Hmm.
it got me that excited about that organization. So your future self may thank you
Thank you.
if you stop by a booth and talk to a partner, because you may just discover something that just really gets you going and makes you super excited and you want to shift your career into a whole new direction.
Exactly.
So now let's imagine now Dreamforce is over. Boo hoo, right? We got to wait
Mhm.
another year. What do we do during this downtime, the non-Dreamforce time, to kind of keep that Dreamforce feeling alive, to stay connected with people? What kind of options or things are there that you all experience or try to that might help with that? I've got a few ideas myself.
For me, it's the trailblazer community. Staying connected, as Elizabeth stated, specific, like Slack, being in the Slack workspaces, engaging with, people there. There's so many different Slack workspaces, Agent Blazer workspaces that you can be a part of, that you can engage with the community in that way. And then there's also local events that happen, of course, from, like the Trailblazer community, but also from Salesforce themselves. I know they're doing like these world tours for, Agent Force, but it's not just about going there to get hands-on, which is great, but it's also you get to meet again new people and experience that, and then being, like just again getting outside of your comfort zone and engaging with others that share the same interests and are like-minded.
Nice. Martin, how about you?
To me, Dreamforce is kind of over the moment it's over because I never find time to watch the presentations and all these kind of things. But what I'm pushing myself to do is to organize a user group where we all summarize and we share the knowledge we gained. Because I can't see everything, like there's just 3,000 sessions or something like that, so
Right.
not doable. And then LinkedIn and
Okay.
staying in touch. Well, staying in touch is too strong. I'm just watching the people. I don't really, I don't really
Martin
communicate
is
with them actually.
hilarious.
I comment here and there, but I'm not sending messages because yeah, I don't. I just watch from the.
Yeah, the one thing, the secret to LinkedIn, in my opinion, if for especially for large conferences like Dreamforce, is knowing how to find your QR code. So you
Yep.
can just
Ah,
show
yes.
that to somebody and they scan it and immediately it brings your contact up in LinkedIn for them. So for
It
those of
was
you who
last
are
week.
listening who may not know where that is, open up
Yeah.
LinkedIn, tap on the search bar. It's that little bitty mini QR code in the corner. You hit that and poof, there you go. So yeah, you also, Martin, you mentioned community groups, local community groups. Those are
Hmm.
awesome. They're all over the world these days. I don't know how many dozens and hundreds and thousands of community groups there are now around the world, but way back in the day, there were very few. When I first got started, um, there wasn't one in my city, and I'd drive 2 to 5 hours one way to attend a local user group because I wanted
Hmm.
to meet people and learn more. But now it's as simple as driving down the road to the local library or something like that once a month. And for a lot of people, at least, they have that connection, and that's a great way to help keep the Dreamforce experience going all year long, is to find a local community group in your area. And I know some of them are still doing virtual meetings as well, so you don't even have to live in the city where the group is to be able to attend and experience that too. And I know, Elizabeth, that's your experience this year for Dreamforce. You'll be doing virtual, and I'm going to try to snag some stickers for you for sure,
Mhm.
Oh,
and help you with that. I know there'll be plenty of stickers around for sure during the whole experience. So this is fantastic. We got a couple of minutes left here,
Can I
Shauna.
get a can I give a pro tip just for that the LinkedIn QR code? Just because it's just something that I've learned over the years is that when you do connect with someone, immediately send them a message about like what your conversation was about, because you're gonna have a lot of different connections, and unfortunately, like a person like me, I do not remember, and I don't remember what we talked about. I don't remember, like it's just too much all at once sometimes. So just send a quick little note. It was great speaking with you about the keynote, or it was great talk, just so you have context when you want to go back and really engage with that individual.
That's a fantastic piece of advice. The one thing I usually look at when I'm looking at somebody's profile on LinkedIn that I'm connected to is the date that we connected, because
Yeah.
that typically sparks something in my mind. I met them at Midwest Dream in 2017, or I met them at
Mhm.
TDX in 2015, or whatever. Just based on the date, I can go back to my calendar and discover possibly when we met. But
Yeah.
that little bitty note that you just mentioned, send that along. I don't know why I never thought of that. I always just hit the little connect button
Yeah.
and leave it at that instead of personalize it. But that's
Mhm.
brilliant. I'm gonna have to remember that one.
Yeah.
So, all right, we are just about at our time. It's 2:29 in the Central Time Zone on my clock.
We
Um,
are. We didn't even get to the good stuff.
yeah.
what's the good stuff? We can keep going for a little while. What do you want to talk
Okay.
about?
Like the three commandments of Dreamforce.
Or-
One, wear comfortable shoes. I
Oh
don't care what
yeah.
you look like.
I brought props.
Yes,
All right.
Comfortable shoes. You need
I
comfortable
I'm
shoes.
I'm a huge fan of Crocs, and Crocs is actually a Salesforce user. So our company uses Salesforce, so I like plugging them. That's what I always wear is Crocs, and get real ones. Don't get the knockoffs.
Okay.
Because
Comfortable
they're not
shoes.
the
Good
same.
call. Yep.
Right.
It's
What,
just not the same.
what's the
But
second commandment?
those those comfortable shoes are crucial because you're on your feet, and it's a lot more standing and
Walking.
walking around than you would ever expect, because the
Hmm.
campus is huge. Moscone West is 3 different levels of huge space, so you're going to be on your feet a lot. The second thing is water. Hydrate. Make sure you are drinking water. There will be plenty of other things to drink for anyone, for whatever reason, whatever you like to drink. But you grab your Coke, grab your water. But the biggest thing is make sure you get some water in you. And there are plenty of places to refill a water bottle. I'm not sure if that's being included in the bags this year or not. Or not in the bags, but in the giveaways or anything. Usually there are people in the expo who are giving them away.
Mhm.
If you forget to bring one, or don't want to pick up one from local, or just reuse a bottle. But it's important because you can get very dry very quickly, especially when meeting new people. You're a little anxious. Just trust me, hydrate.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let me.
Elizabeth.
And the
Lem
third is protein.
Yep.
There
Yeah,
are You'll see candy on everybody's booth. You'll see sugar everywhere. But
Shauna's got all the
if
props.
you don't get some protein, whatever way you like it, it doesn't matter. Just take care of your body so you can get through this. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And
Yep.
you will be so happy to get to meet people, and then trying to find people or trying to find food. It becomes very overwhelming. So like Shauna has, get some, what is it, Lift Bars or
Cliff
Clif
bars.
Bars,
Cliff bars.
whatever you like. Our little packs of peanut butter, or whatever works for you. Pack your little bag to take with you when you go. Not anything huge. You don't have to take a backpack with everything you own, but having a couple of things, a couple of snacks, a drink, something to write with, something to write on, either a remarkable or a traditional paper and pencil, that you can make these notes on and make those connections or share that information. That's what you need in order to get through. And your comfortable shoes. I cannot say that enough, because
There's
nobody cares what they look like. I mean, you can have really great, cute shoes, but if you're miserable and you can't move, you're missing the whole
yeah.
thing. You're missing the
That
whole point.
that brings up one more thought that just came to my mind. With Dreamforce being later in the year this year than it typically is, there was a Dreamforce several years ago that was either October or early November,
Yeah.
and it rained the entire
Yes.
week.
It did.
So that's one more thing that you might wanna consider packing
Umbrella,
away is an umbrella or perhaps one of those little
poncho, or
almost disposable rain ponchos, just
yeah.
on the off chance, because you're gonna be walking a lot, you're gonna be outside between buildings in some cases or going to
Mhm.
dinner, and so you may not wanna get soaked. And
It
Elizabeth,
is
I think you kinda touched on this one too. A lot of people that I know say, "Leave your laptop at home or at least leave it in your hotel room. Don't lug it with you the whole time, because that's
mhm,
gonna get really heavy really fast."
And
exactly. So
oh, sorry,
sorry.
Shauna.
No, I was gonna say for the water, they do have refillable water stations. They did stop giving out, backpacks and bottles and things of that nature because of sustainability. But I found these water bottle, like these refillable water bottles that are collapsible, that are amazing. Like you can collapse it and open it. It's amazing to carry around with you because it doesn't take up a lot of space. And yeah, that's my little tip for the water bottle. And then the Cliff bars are great, but like Elizabeth says, whatever protein you like. Some other things that I have props for, so I'll show you. Wet ones. Okay, I'm a little bit
Mm.
of a germaphobe. Wet ones and Clorox wipes. For like touching, when you touch things, of course, you have your hand sanitizer because you're gonna be shaking a lot of hands. I always bring an extra mask just in case I'm in like a session or I'm next to someone who's coughing a lot. I throw on my mask. That's just me. You don't need to, but it's an option. And then in the essence of staying hydrated, liquid IV, make sure you throw one of these in there
Mm.
because you're gonna need your electrolytes and all that. And then I also drink a lot of this, which is the vitamin C, emergency basically, because you're going to be interacting with people in the in the wild. I have biofreeze for my, feet and like any muscles or bones that are aching. I have blister supports because when you're walking so much, if you didn't choose a great pair of shoes, or let's say they're brand new or something and they just didn't fit right, you're going to want something, a Band-Aid or something. Kleenex, of course. Please, please, please bring Tic Tacs. You're going to be talking a lot and drinking a lot of coffee.
Mm.
So, have some gum or,
Yeah,
Tic Tacs, something to that effect.
keep your fellow trailblazers in mind, right?
Exactly. Pain meds is crucial.
Mhm.
For me, I sometimes get sporadic headaches or migraines. So, always making sure you're prepared in that way as well. And then aching bones too from walking around because a lot of us are sedentary with our work lifestyle.
Yep.
And another thing about taking notes, I love the Remarkable. If you have the subscription, like whatever you write out, I'm sure you can turn into text and PDF. But if you don't have a Remarkable, one of the things that I've done, I love is on my iPhone, in notes, you can take a picture of the slide that you're talking about and put in your notes, and it's going to transfer through to all your iCloud devices. So your computer, your iPad, whatever it is. And then you can actually upload that into ChatGPT and it'll create a whole document for you. So those are a little bit of my tips to
There
share with you all.
there's one little thing that I think I haven't heard anybody mention yet, which is slightly surprising. We've been talking about how to keep ourselves active, in pain-free, fully charged, if you will. But what
Yeah.
about your devices?
Yeah.
We need you make sure you bring a battery pack or
Yep.
2 or 3. I usually have 3 or 4 actually hanging in
Yep.
my backpack with me, and that's in some cases, that becomes a networking tip, a networking
Hmm.
tool. If you're sitting next to somebody in a session and you see them looking at their phone and they're like, "My phone's dead," and it's
Yeah.
like, "Here,
Yeah.
use my battery pack. Just
Exactly.
here, grab your cable, let's charge up right now while we're in the session."
Those are one
That's
of
a
those things, Eric, for us, we're like, oh, that's like common, like everyone always needs. So it's
right?
like one of those things that you always miss. And you're like, oh yeah, that's a
And
good tip.
and in
That
some
is a one
cases,
European tip because you have the different
Oh,
soccer
yeah,
ball, right?
yeah.
yeah.
In some
Yeah.
cases, I've seen sponsors give away battery packs as
Yes.
swag as well, so
But
Yes.
those are
that's always
little.
helpful.
Yeah.
True, they're small, but yeah, better than nothing. It's maybe a half a charge or 1
Part,
charge
yeah.
for your phone, but and then plug them back in when you get to the hotel every night.
Yeah, make sure
Exactly.
you've plugged in everything when you get back.
Yeah.
You've charged your watch before you go to sleep because you will be exhausted.
Mhm.
Making sure that you take your nighttime medication. You've had some sustain, some sustaining food at some point in that day, and gotten some plenty to drink before you completely crash out, because you'll have the best sleep because you'll be absolutely exhausted.
Mhm.
But plug things in so you're ready to go, and really try to like Tristana said, try to, and Eric, leave most of your stuff back at your room or back at home if possible,
Mhm.
because you take your laptop cleaning. Oh, I'll just check into work. No, you won't. Not unless work is on fire and they absolutely need you. Then you have to do what you have to do in order to get to go. And everybody understands that, and people will try to help you. Find a place or whatever whatever you need. People will try and help you. But if you can let it go and live on your phone, or at most a small tablet, that's the way to go, because you don't want to carry so much around. You don't want to have to go through bag check and
Mhm.
slow everything down that way. You don't want to worry about somebody taking something out of a bag or losing it or forgetting it. Just leave it behind, and
Yep.
go
Oh,
as open as you can, because
yeah.
it's just so much easier that way. Now I like to prepare for, like, I don't know, an invasion or something, and I like you like everything you showed I would have in my bag.
Yeah.
So if you see somebody carrying one of those and you need something, hey, you haven't have any extra leave? You haven't
Right.
extra candy?
Exactly.
And most of the people who are carrying all that are going to be like, yes, please take some of this from me, because I don't want to carry it anymore.
Right. Elizabeth, that's actually a good point, Eric. And I know you probably have to get to your next thing, but that's a good point about checkpoints, security checkpoints, because that wasn't a thing back in the day. We didn't have to worry about
Right.
that. Now, like that's a huge thing where they do have these huge security checkpoints. So bringing a bag full of stuff is going to slow you down, but it's also going to require you to stop at that security checkpoint. So if you're rushing to get to a session, in every building that you go to in Moscone, you have to go through security checkpoint, regardless if you're just walking, one block, you're going to go through security checkpoint again and again and again. So
Yeah.
make sure that you are carrying as minimal as possible, because you do not want to spend that time. And then also, if you have an early morning session, get there early, because the security line to get into the building is long.
Yep.
And with that, also, if you have a physical handicap or disabled in some way, if you can reach out to the Dreamforce disability team, that
Yes.
they'll help you with any accommodations if you have not done that already. If you didn't see that during the registration sign up, there was a
Please
place
do
there
that.
to go.
Yeah. That's an
They're
excellent point,
a
Elizabeth.
great group to work
Yep.
with, and hopefully, my suggestion to them was to make sure that they are consistent with which door is which, because there's been a couple years where they've kind of flipped that around, and you go, okay, I'm going to west, I'm going to go to that door because I know that's where I need to go, and it's like, oh no, you need to go around the building. It's like, most people it's easy to go around the building. Other people it's not so easy just to go around the
Right.
building,
Right.
and it
And
comes.
even if your disability is temporary, like you fractured an ankle,
Yes.
Yeah,
or
Yes.
you're something like that, go through that same process, because
Exactly.
you're gonna wish you had if you didn't, because of all the
Mhm.
walking and things like that. So yeah, definitely a great point there, Elizabeth. Thanks for bringing that one up.
I loved my
Well,
motorized scooter one year. It was great.
yeah. And any last minute tips? Any one last thing anybody wants to share? A shameless plug for a session or anything like that y'all want to do? But let's go around the room and do that really quick. Shauna, you look like you've got something you want to say.
Well, I was gonna say, be open to the possibilities, and don't come guarded, like be open to all the possibilities, and that way you're just gonna have fun and be excited about everything that comes. But I do want to give a special product a shout out and go visit their booth. It's called Sweep. They are an amazing partner, an amazing, agentic platform, and I think you guys are going to love it once you go visit their booth and see what they have to offer. So, and
That's
also,
awesome.
if you see me walking around, say hey, and we can chat a little bit.
Awesome. Martin?
I would say look around outside of the campus as well, because there are sponsors outside of the campus as well, and there are events happening outside of the campus as well.
Lots
So
of
you
events.
all spoke about something which looks pretty too healthy to me. So bacon, I would say it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Eric?
Tuesday morning. Yep.
Tuesday morning. Okay,
Yep.
so breakfast with bacon and fun run on Wednesday. Hopefully it will happen. So you can balance it.
Nice. Elizabeth, any words of advice on this?
Breathe, just breathe,
Breathe. That's
and
an awesome one. Yes.
take care of yourself. But the other thing, one thing I did want to point out with what Martin said, you will see lots of badges. Well, most people only have one, but you'll see that people wearing their badges, and to get to anything and anywhere, you have to have a badge. You're not going to get in without it. Nobody's going to let you
Right.
in at minimum, and sometimes you need to actually show an ID. It could be a government ID. There's everybody's got different things there too, but just also while you're doing this, and there's a lot of fun things going on, stay aware. And if you don't feel comfortable going to a place or you don't feel comfortable going alone, you find people to go with. Some of those, there are things that are happening all over the area, and they're not officially not Dreamforce events or side events that are great, and wonderful sponsors are putting on great parties and great events to show off their products and such. You need to go. If you can, you want to go, but listen to your gut. If you don't feel comfortable, don't, unless it's an official Dreamforce event, don't go unless you find people, to go, go with and be with that you trust. Just err on the side of caution when you go to anything that's not officially an official Dreamforce event. And it will be very easy to tell what's official.
Yeah. Great point. San Francisco is a rather large city, and as such has typical large city issues from time to time. So, well, I'm going to do the quick shameless plug for the event that has become known as the Bacon Breakfast, as everyone now calls it. I've been hosting a breakfast early in Dreamforce called the Newbie Reunion Breakfast for many years. It is Tuesday morning this year, first morning of Dreamforce, 7 a.m. Steers Fine Food, and it's a fundraiser for my favorite nonprofit, Project Night Night. So if you're up to early morning breakfasts, or even if you're not, check it out and maybe join us there. It's another great place to meet some awesome people. And I know Charlie Isaacs always makes an appearance. For those who know Charlie, he's a great guy. Works at Salesforce. Been there many years now, and he always shows up at least for a few minutes. So.
Oh, sorry. So, please, buy tickets to Eric's Bacon Breakfast and Project Night Night, because that's where all the proceeds go. I'm sorry, something popped in my head, and I apologize. I got excited. Oh. So I'm on the community advisory board, and one thing that's great is that the community section within Moscone, Moscone West on the 3rd floor. So please, if you're new to the community, if you're a veteran in the community, whatever it may be, stop on that 3rd floor. There's going to be some amazing things happening for the community. Everyone's going to love it. I don't think I can say much right now, but once they put that out, you'll see Moscone West 3rd floor. Just come visit the community section of Dreamforce.
Fantastic. Yeah. All right. Thank you all for joining us today. I appreciate the three of you spending some time with us, sharing your Dreamforce stories. Elizabeth, I wish you could be there in person this year, but I know how things happen sometimes. There's always next year, right? So, all right, everybody, thanks for coming, and hope to see some of you live and in person at Dreamforce. Have a great day, everyone.
Have a great day.